Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I just got home from LA. I had a crazy weekend. I went to the Canelo Chavez final press tour in Los Angeles, then immediately went to the Mayweather promotion card. It's like a two and a half hour drive to Temecula. It was at the Pachenga Casino to support the Mayweather promotions card. I already uploaded the video with my dude Saul Nano Rodriguez. He had a tough fight, and I stayed out there. I was in Lake Elsinore and Inglewood this morning, and then we pushed back to the Bay Area. I just got home, so it was going to be a late night. But I want to talk about the PBC cards, give you guys my post-fight for the title you see, which was Jarrett Hurd versus Tony Harrison. And it was for the IBF 154-pound vacant belt, which was vacated by Jermall Charlo, who announced recently that he's moving up to 160 for bigger opportunities and probably some big money fights after knocking out his mandatory, Julian J. Rock Williams. Now, first of all, I'm going to start off by saying this. Thank you, Al Heyman. PBC was on fire. They had 4 fights. It was like a quadruple header, and all of them but one ended in a knockout. I think the first 3 televised bouts were all knockouts, TKOs or KOs or whatever, right? And then Caleb Plant, shout out to my dude Caleb Plant, he had a knockdown in the first round, and then he ended up winning a decision, unanimous decision, easy work, so he moves up the ranking. Al Heyman is slaughtering. Listen to me, he's slaughtering. Double headers, quadruple headers. They got Jermall Charlo versus Charles Hatley, Gary Russell Jr. versus mandatory Escandon. I mean, we already had Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton 2 grudge match and rematch. Mikey Garcia was on that card. I was at that card. I was at the Broner Granados card. Man, this shit is keeping me busy, right? Broner Granados had that was a great fight. Had Lamont Peterson on the card. You had a knockout from Marcus Brown in the Top Dog Williams fight. Man, it's so many fights. And like I said, with this card, the triple header, I think they switched networks, but the first 3 fights that they showed were all knockouts. The Dominique Brazil, that was a crazy war fight. You know what I'm saying? Not many people knew about him, but I knew it was going to be a good fight because Dominique Brazil, he's proven some things wrong. I know some people that know him from the amateurs, and they said he was like, he got stopped before or dropped. He would always get dropped, stuff like that. But he's impressing me because he's showing little stuff like he wasn't winning the Anthony Joshua fight, but he was tough. I thought he would get stopped sooner, to be honest. But I mean, I like that. There's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? He might not be able to beat the top 3 guys at heavyweight. Maybe he can later down the line. I don't know. But I thought he had a good win in his particular fight. And it wasn't the most technical fight, but that's what some of y'all say y'all like, right? So let me talk about Tony Harrison versus Jarrett Hurd. It was a good fight, man. I had Jarrett Swift. Shout out to my dude Jarrett Hurd for turning things around in the 9th round. I had him losing the fight, majority of the fight. I thought Tony Harrison looked really sharp. Shout out to Detroit. He looked real good. He was using some movement, and he was just like outmatching and outboxing Jarrett Hurd. And the thing about this, if people, when I talk boxing ego, when I speak boxing, I try to give it to you guys real. Listen to what I say on my channel and listen to what other people say. Like, I told you guys Broner versus Granados was going to be a tough fight. People are like, oh, Granados says I bomb. And then Gerald Washington, I said it was going to be a tough fight, right? Same size, almost within, like, give or take an inch. And he has some boxing ability. And then I always act surprised. Oh, I didn't know Granados could do that. Oh, I didn't know Gerald Washington would have that jab. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with this fight. I told you guys, this is like, these are 2 hungry people. And the thing that I can't stress enough is experience in boxing plays a huge portion in that. Like, look at, let's say Mayweather versus Castillo, the first fight. Very tough fight. Some people thought Floyd lost that fight. But the later Mayweather, well, he already beat him the same year when he rematched him. But hypothetically, let's say they didn't rematch. When Floyd got after he beat Ricky Hatton and the Shane Mosleys and stuff like that, Castillo wouldn't be in his level, you know what I'm saying? Because of the experience. Where Floyd was at that time with the Hurd rotator cuff or whatever, it was a tough fight, and you learn from those tough fights. Like my dude Saul Neno Rodriguez, he was in a very tough fight, right? He won. Some people thought he lost, split decision. But that's what you need. And these young fighters, that's what they have to go through. They're not gonna, people have this misconception that everybody's like on some Floyd Mayweather shit, where every fight's gonna be a clean sweep. Ward Kovalev, it wasn't a one-sided domination on anybody's part. Ward didn't dominate Kovalev, and Kovalev didn't dominate Ward. You know what I mean? It was a back and forth championship level fight where two guys were hungry, period. Despite who you had winning, right? And guys like Jarrett Swift Hurd, he looks hungry, he looks focused, but experience, this is a good experience fight, because Tony Harrison, I thought he looked real good, real sharp, and these are the types of fights he needs. You know what I mean? If you would have put Jarrett Swift Hurd in with Canelo or somebody who has way more experience, then maybe he couldn't beat them at this point. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But these are the fights that groom you. And anytime you put an incentive like a title on the line, these dudes are coming for it. And the fact is, Tony Harrison has a better resume than Jarrett Swift Hurd, right? So I'm not surprised that he gave it a go and was winning the first half of it, or whatever you want to call, and complicating things for Jarrett Swift Hurd. Jarrett Swift Hurd, he beat Frank Galarza. That was a great win for him. Oscar Molina. But Tony Harrison has been in there with Fernando Guerrero, who's been in there with David Lemieux and all types of people, right? He was in there with Willie Nelson. I've watched Willie Nelson spar. He's legit like 6'3", 6'3 and a half, has an amateur background. He's tall as hell. He has power. And Willie Nelson had a come from behind victory. He was losing that fight too. And then he ended up stopping Tony Harrison when he was undefeated. So, I mean, you guys, a lot of people just want to discount someone because of a loss, this or that, and sometimes praise people too much, not being realistic. Jarrett Swift Hurd, shout out to my dude. Like I said, it was a beautiful win for him. I'm happy for him. But experience plays a part, and at this level, every little minute detail matters. And Tony Harrison, he had more experience, so it's gonna take a while for Swift Hurd. Like, I thought, in all honesty, I thought Jarrett Swift Hurd, I thought he would have an easier time with it, but it doesn't always happen. I didn't sleep on Tony Harrison. You know what I'm saying? He's flashy. He lost to Willie Nelson, but he bounced back and like knocked out Fernando Guerrero and had some bounce back wins, and then it was for a title. So this is pretty much what I expected. I thought Swift Hurd could. I didn't think it'd be as one-sided for the first 8 rounds or whatever, or 7 rounds or whatever. But basically, Hurd came on. He was able to hurt him. I think it was the 7th or 8th round, and then he closed the show in the night. Some people were saying it was a premature stoppage. No, it's not a premature stoppage. It looked like Tony Harrison was done. And you got to look at the body language, and he spit his mouthpiece. He didn't even really spit it like he just let it fall out of his mouth. You know what I mean? Of course he's going to stop the fight. It looks like that's a sign you can't breathe, because why would you just let it dribble out of your mouth unless you want some James DeGale shit and your teeth are like not intact or not in place, broken or something. And he just let it fall out after he got knocked down. And I mean, I don't know, just maybe it was the angle I seen. He got hurt early in one of the rounds right before the knockout. He was hurt in the round. And to me, he got caught with a silly right hand, and it was a dedicated, powerful right from Jarrett Hurd, and that's what set him down. And you see how he fell back all crazy, and I don't know, maybe it was in his blind spot and he didn't see it, but to me, the end was near because of the early round where Jarrett Hurd put a hurting on him and hurt him, and Tony Harrison using a lot of energy plus getting hurt. I think he was starting to fatigue because he got a little bit lazy and got caught kind of backing out, and in transition got caught with the solid right, and then that's when he went down all crazy, took a very long count, and then he got back up, and then whoever it was, Jack Reese or whatever the ref was, he was like giving him instructions, hey, do this, and he like dribbled out his mouthpiece. So I mean, to me, if you're doing all that shows you don't want to fight. Plus, he didn't protest it after it was stopped. He just looked disappointed. So the right man won. He had to turn it on, and he had to come from behind. But again, I like this. I like to see these fighters, young fighters, go through that, because that's what's going to make them strong champions, or champions for some time, because they dealt with adversity. You know what I mean? That's why people want to see Golovkin fight Danny Jacobs and Canelo's, because stylistically, you line up Billy Joe Saunders, Dominic Wade, all these guys. Nobody really gives them any shot. But some people are giving Canelo a shot to beat Triple G. Some people are giving Danny Jacobs a shot. That's why we want to see those fights. You know what I mean? Where they can be challenged based on their style, what they're vulnerable with. And like I said, Jarrett Hurd, it's a learning experience. He can see what he did right. And I mean, he came out with the W, stays undefeated, and now he's a champion. So there's a lot of great fights. Demetrius Andrade is a fight. Edislani Lada, the other Charlo brother, Hatley winner, stuff like that. So it's not every performance is going to be a one-sided. Like when I watched Jarrett Hurd, very one-sided versus Oscar Molina. He had a nasty-ass uppercut. But again, styles make fights. Tony Harrison had a good game plan, more experience, and he made it challenging. And people, it's just like they want to complain. What do you, like, oh, Jarrett Hurd ain't all that. Like, because he was losing a fight, that's what happens. You put people who are on equal levels or both hungry, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Every fight shouldn't be a blowout. Unless you're like Mayweather, who just, you know what I mean, has this secret sauce that nobody seems to be able to fully convincingly beat. Let me know what you guys think. Shout out to Jarrett Hurd. I enjoyed the fight, and I enjoyed the fight card. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.